Hello everyone, this is William again with my discussion post for Module 4. For this week's discussion post, I would like to address one of the aspects of our questions, the one concerning what is the recommendations you feel could be most impactful out of the articles from this week, and what steps would you recommend marketers take to implement those recommendations. The articles for this week's modules discuss two different attributes, in my opinion. One discusses the use and implementation of augmented reality and its current and future uses, while the other discusses the equalization of brand management promotion coupled with that of data-driven analytics promotion. I found both the articles extremely interesting, especially the one for AR implementation and its uses. And while they both discuss different attributes of technology and its integration into the market from both customer use and marketing aspects, they both discuss technology. And I think I've said it in other posts, and that my recommendation here would be I would pose to marketers based on these two articles that staying up with current, new, and emerging technologies to stay relevant and competitive would be the biggest recommendation out of these two articles. And that would be for current and future marketers. The use of these technologies such as AR and the data-driven analytics and how they can so precisely predict outcomes of promotional activities needs to be in the marketer's tool belt. However, at the same time, there's a fine line here that the marketer must walk. They need to assure that they get a return on investment for these activities, because in some cases they could be very expensive from like an augmented reality software aspect and things like that, and even the data-driven analytics aspect, and using those discount promotions and things like that. And they still need to utilize a certain amount of gut check reality. And by that, what I'm referring to is, as referenced, like in the "Don't Let the Big Data Blur Your Brand" article that we read this week, it discusses the need to balance the desire for short-term promotion through discounts based on the data-driven analytics and the long-term effect of building the brand. Marketers need to use technology, but they need to do so with some sense of the overall effect on the brand and the organization and the end goal in mind. Is the end goal to build the legacy of the brand, or is the end goal to increase sales? I think that article touched on that quite a bit, as far as the short-term discounts can be utilized to increase sales quickly, but at the same time, you can have an adverse effect on building the brand. While as building the brand, you need to go in it with that end goal in mind. So the second part of the question here is how to implement the takeaways as far as addressing those aspects of technology and that they need to be implemented. I would say the best way to implement these activities would be to begin by maybe benchmarking industry leaders in these areas. Okay. In most cases, if you're not a competitor, organizations that are benchmark organizations, which are basically leaders in implementing these types of processes, things like that, would allow an organization to review what they have done and the challenges and successes they experience. And in most cases, those organizations even tout being able to share that with people, and they use it as like almost like an award to some extent that, hey, we're at this level. And we'd love to share how we got to this level because, of where we're at. Again, you could review what those organizations had done, the challenges and successes they had experienced. And the marketer could reach out to suppliers also of the technology that we're talking about, like the data-driven analytics software, the AR, augmented reality software, things like that. You could reach out to those suppliers and talk to industry experts as well as other internal personnel like you might have in IT or somewhere like that, and discuss things with those individuals, those experts about these activities, and let's talk about the end goal and what you're trying to achieve. And reviewing the activities at the organization, you can see again, the challenges they faced with your benchmark organization. Then you could brainstorm how to better do those things. There's some aspects. Sometimes the first ones to implement a process, or the first ones in the market with a product, things like that. Well, they're the innovators as far as that is concerned. Quite often they become left behind to some degree because other organizations come in, see what they've done, see the challenges they made, and they improve upon what they've done. All right. And by doing that, they become better placed in the market. And you can do that through these benchmark organizations. You can look at what they've done and you can improve upon their success, which will make you more successful. Okay. Marketer also needs to use some intuition as to how to implement these, and particularly in regards to when to build the brand and when the short-term position is, short-term promotion position is appropriate. You can look at some forecast sales aspects of that, and you could also review, with your management team, what is the end goal? Where do we need to go? I think that needs to be a team effort to some degree, in those aspects. So that's pretty much all I have for this week. I'd love to hear your comments. Thanks. Stay safe, and be talking to you later.